Friday, 6:43 a.m. She was zipping her Samsonite shut when she said it, without looking at me like I was housekeeping. Don't call. I'll be unreachable for about 6 days. Then the smirk. And please, for once, try not to embarrass me while I'm gone. Her nails were painted the exact shade of smug. The luggage had a new Apple AirTag. She'd shaved, perfumed, wore a low-cut blouse with no bra and heels, too impractical for a coastal rental. I've seen her wear sweatpants to a funeral, but today she looked ready. Not for me, though. Not in that outfit. I was holding her old smartwatch, Series 5, cracked bezel. She left it charging by the downstairs outlet 3 days ago. Claimed it glitched too much. Maybe, maybe not. 15 minutes after she peeled out of the driveway, I synced it to her parents' TV using their guest device's Bluetooth. That living room was about to host a hell of a movie night. I pressed record. A ping popped up, device active. It didn't feel like revenge. It felt like inventory. We've been married 11 years. I'm 44, software engineer, not flashy, not sloppy. I pay attention to systems. Monica used to love that. You notice things most guys don't, she'd said once years ago. Apparently, she started counting on me not noticing. Because here's the part she never imagined. I wasn't blindsided. 3 months ago, I walked into our shared office and saw her calendar open. She quickly closed it, too quickly. The entry? Stacy's bachelorette. Thing is, Stacy's married, has been since 20. A week later, Monica changed the PIN on her phone. She told me, company policy, all devices secured. 2 weeks after that, I saw a gym bag in the trunk, but her body hadn't changed in any visible way. When I joked, getting in shape for swimsuit season, she replied, don't be so insecure. Ah, there it was, the pivot. I was the paranoid one. So I stopped asking. Instead, I opened a secure drive, quietly moved our tax returns, property deed, prenup scan, and brokerage statements into a private folder, discreetly retitled it Q2 Project Archives, stored a backup on a flash drive behind the breaker panel in the garage. I also reviewed the prenup with a lawyer from work. Just a hypothetical, I said. He highlighted something called Clause 9D, infidelity, documented. Triggering it meant immediate asset separation. If you're listening without subscribing, over 97% of you are, hit that button now. It genuinely motivates us to bring you more stories like this one, the kind where people don't scream, they plan. Back to Monica. The trip she thought was covert was now live streaming to her father's living room. He thinks I'm passive, thinks I got lucky marrying up. He's about to find out I've been watching quietly for a long time. What Monica didn't know was that 6 days of freedom came with 6 years worth of receipts, and every frame was being archived. By the time she came home, there wouldn't be a home waiting, not hers anyway. 7:28 p.m. The screen flickered once, then it came alive. Not an Airbnb, no surfboards on the walls, no girls sipping white wine on a deck. It was a downtown hotel. I recognized the lamp style, Art Deco, probably the Fairmont, premium suite, corner view. Monica walked in first, alone. She was wearing a black dress with a slit up the thigh, hair down, heels off. She poured something into a tumbler from the minibar and sat on the edge of the bed like she was waiting for a show to start. Then it did. The first guy came in 5 minutes later, tall, messy hair, gym bag, hugged her like it was a second date. She laughed. The second one arrived with a pizza box. She opened a wine bottle. The third brought party favors, a silver pouch, probably gummies or worse. By the time the fourth and fifth showed up, it was background noise. Casual, like this wasn't the first time. She wasn't surprised or conflicted. She was home. I didn't flinch. Didn't raise my voice or clench my fist, just tapped screenshot. The image showed 5 men in a hotel suite and my wife smiling like it was Christmas Eve. I opened my laptop, created an email. Subject, for reference attached. The still frame CC'd. 2 names, Charles Redford, her father, and Jonathan Lang, their estate attorney. Lang's the one who drafted our prenup in 2012. Back then, Monica's dad insisted I sign it. Just to protect her future, he said, like I was a charity case. It included a clause they never thought would matter. 9D, breach of fidelity with digital evidence. I added a short line under the photo, per clause 9D, initiating next steps. Timestamp, 7:28 p.m. Hit send. No threats, no drama. just documentation. It wasn't about exposing her. It was about beginning extraction. The stream kept rolling. She turned the TV on in the background, muted, started dancing. One of the guys lit a joint. Another unzipped a backpack full of something. I muted the volume. I'd seen enough. She thought this was a vacation, but she just clocked into her own audit. 8:12 p.m., Newport, Rhode Island. Charles Redford sat in his leather armchair, squinting at the television as if it had personally insulted him. He hadn't touched the remote. The image filled the screen. Monica, his only daughter, wrapped in a hotel sheet, drink in hand, letting some guy rub her shoulders while another joked about taking turns. He adjusted his glasses, blinked. For a moment he thought it might be a movie, something queued up from Netflix, but the bottom corner showed the source, guest device number 4. The stream was live. Crystal clear. His wife, Elaine, stepped into the room with a cup of tea, saw the screen, and froze. The mug shattered on the hardwood. "Oh my God," she whispered. Charles didn't respond. He didn't mute it, didn't pause, just stared, jaw tight, lips a thin line. After nearly a full minute, he reached for the phone on the side table. Scrolled. Found the number he hadn't dialed since Thanksgiving. Dennis answered on the second ring. "You knew?" Charles asked. No anger, just bone-deep disbelief. Dennis's voice was calm, measured. "I suspected. I confirmed." No apology, no drama, just the clean precision of someone who already had the playbook memorized. Charles didn't speak again, just hung up. Elaine sat down slowly, face pale. "What are you going to do?" Charles opened his contacts and dialed Jonathan Lang. "John, I need you to pull Monica's file. The prenup. Now." He stood up, still watching the stream. "And double-check the infidelity clause. I want the exact language on digital proof. This is digital, all right, in 1080p. Meanwhile, back in my office, I sent a single text. To Charles. 3 words. Prenup, Section 7. It was a nudge, a reminder. The clause we'd skimmed over in the mahogany-lined office when I was the one with no pedigree, no family money, just a steady job and a spine they didn't think I'd ever use. Section 7 wasn't vague. It laid it all out. Infidelity documented through digital evidence triggered immediate financial separation. No mediation. No alimony. Split assets defaulted to premarital ownership. At the time, Charles had said, "It's just insurance, son. You got nothing to worry about if you're faithful." Funny how it's her now facing the bill, because this betrayal wasn't mine to expose anymore. It was a liability her family had to contain, and they were now watching it frame by frame. She didn't just cheat on a husband. She compromised a future trust, a family name, a multi-million-dollar estate portfolio built to avoid this kind of scandal. They thought I was just some harmless tag-along, a man with no bite. What they were seeing now wasn't rage, it was alignment. Me, the clause, the footage, and their own signatures. Their daughter had lit the fuse, I just made sure it pointed home. By 9:03 p.m., the first firewall was up. I logged into our shared investment dashboard, Wellstone Private. It was under both our names, but the contributions? 83% mine, tracked down to the cent. That mattered now. Clause 9D was a trigger clause, but Clause 11A, that was the lever. It allowed for immediate asset protection by either party in the event of verified spousal infidelity. Verified, as in documented, as in streamed. I selected my contributions, moved them to a newly formed revocable trust, Hawthorne entity, something my lawyer and I set up quietly 2 months ago. It took 34 seconds, no approvals needed, transfer complete, 721-500 shifted, safe, untouchable. Next tab, her business card, issued under my LLC as a convenience because her firm reimburses late. Yeah, that card had paid for dinners, hotels, flights, all of which now carried legal weight. I flagged the last 3 charges. The Fairmont downtown, room 2811, room service, X5 meals, wine and spirits minibar. Charge, I clicked suspend card, then report suspicious activity. She'd have no idea until her next swipe failed. That wasn't spite, that was liability containment. Then I pulled out the list, a quiet checklist I'd been keeping, just in case the rumors in my own gut ever became something real. Remove Monica as medical emergency contact. Done. Replaced with my brother. Remove Monica from property titles. Easy, I owned the house before marriage. Her name was never added. Update will. Remove spouse designation. Done online. Notarized with 2 clicks through Vault Legal. Insurance beneficiary, update to sister. Confirmed. The final step took 15 minutes. I archived our smart home profile. Reset access. Garage code. Door locks. Thermostat. Even the damn fridge touchscreen. By 10:04 p.m., she wasn't in the system. Not just metaphorically, literally. No keys, no access, no fallback. She left on Friday to vanish for 6 days. But when she came back, she'd find herself erased. She never thought I had it in me. Because I never showed her what it looks like when a calm man stops protecting your place in his life and starts deleting it. Wednesday, 1:12 p.m. My phone buzzed. One message. Monica, can you feed the cat? No, please, no check-in, no sign of remorse. She was halfway through her little adventure, mid-orgy by my count, and I was still the housekeeper in her head, the man left behind to tend to fur and furniture while she recharged with 5 men in a minibar. I stared at the screen for a second, then typed 2 words, done. That was it. No anger, no punctuation. Later that night, I flipped the stream back on. I didn't need to anymore, but something told me she'd slip, and when people are too comfortable, they say the most useful things. Sure enough, she was in the hotel suite's kitchenette, pouring boxed wine into a plastic cup like she was back in college. One of the guys made some joke about being Homewreckers Anonymous. She laughed and rolled her eyes. Oh, he's clueless, probably still folding laundry like a good little husband. Another chimed in, you told me he was boring, but damn. She added, yeah, he's like domesticated. I texted him earlier and he actually fed the cat. Like, that's his role now. Background maintenance. I hit pause. Rewound 5 seconds. Captured the whole exchange. Video time-stamped. Clear audio. No ambiguity. At 7:42 a.m. the next morning, I composed an email from a burner Proton Mail account. Subject line. Compliance violation concern. Anonymous tip. Recipient HR Director, Greenstone Marketing Group. Attached. A short clip of Monica, drink in hand, laughing about folding laundry while using her husband as pet care support during a remote work week. Body of the message. Employee Monica Redford appears to be in violation of remote work conduct policy, misrepresenting personal travel as business-related. Footage enclosed. Consider cross-checking her VPN login locations and per diem reports. No name, no return address. No fingerprints. The thing about corporate jobs is they love a scandal when it's gift-wrapped in policy language. HR doesn't care about the affair. They care that she billed time while half-naked on a couch drinking boxed Merlot. Monica thought she was safe because I wouldn't retaliate. What she never considered is that I wouldn't retaliate. I'd reroute, let her own arrogance write the ticket, let her employer punch the clock on her downfall. The walls weren't closing in. They were already sealed. She just hadn't looked up yet. Friday night, 10:03 p.m., her final evening away. She's on the hotel balcony in a robe, drink in hand. When it happens, the moment she opens her Chase app, unable to access account, please contact support. She tries again. Same result. Tries a different card. Declined at the bar 15 minutes later. Then again at the front desk when she tries to extend the stay by 1 night. She doesn't panic yet. That comes after the 4th failed attempt. Then she calls her dad. Voicemail. She tries her mom. No answer. Then me. I let it ring once. Then declined it. By then, I was standing outside our house with a locksmith. He was finishing up. New deadbolt installed. Garage code reset. App-based key fobs deauthorized. Took all of 22 minutes. Cost me $180, worth every cent. Inside the house looked different now. Cold, clean, her closet, empty. Everything boxed, labeled, and stored neatly in the garage. A red marker on each box, pending pickup. I uploaded the full week's footage to a secure drive, encrypted it, watermarked with date, time, location overlay, 5 clips, high resolution. Then I compressed it into a single file, uploaded it to a temp server, generated a QR code. The courier pickup was arranged for 7 o'clock a.m. the next morning. Express delivery to the Fairmont Hotel front desk marked Guest Monica Redford. The envelope was plain. No logo, no signature. Inside, divorce papers, already signed and notarized. A printed copy of Prenup Clause 9D, highlighted, and the QR code, labeled simply, Playback. By the time she received it, I was already off the grid. Monica thought the storm would start when she got back. She didn't realize it had passed already, and what she'd returned to was just silence and absence. No confrontation, no fight, just absence everywhere she used to be. She left for 6 days to reset, and I made sure she'd come back to a life where nothing remembered her. Saturday, 10:41 a.m., Newport. She showed up wearing sunglasses and a hoodie, like shame was seasonal. No luggage, no heels, hair tied back, not a trace of the woman who smirked at me 6 days ago at the door. Elaine opened the door and stepped aside without a word. No hug, no welcome home. Just silence, an absence too loud to ignore. "Why weren't you answering my calls?" Monica snapped as she marched past the foyer, still clinging to some sense of control. Charles was seated in his chair, hands folded, gaze fixed on the TV across from him. Didn't flinch, didn't greet her. Monica planted herself in the middle of the living room. "Dad, say something, this is ridiculous." Still, nothing. So she huffed. "You're seriously siding with him? He's manipulating you? This is some psychotech thing he cooked up? You're really just gonna sit there?" And that's when he reached for the remote, calm, no words, no dramatics. He hit play. The screen lit up. Her voice, her laugh, the hotel suite, her straddling one guy's lap, saying, "He's probably folding laundry like a good little husband." Another chimed in, "He still feeds your cat, right?" Cue more laughter, more arrogance. Monica's mouth parted like she might speak, but nothing came out. She took a step forward. "Where did you even get this? That's illegal surveillance. I never consented to—" Charles paused the stream. The image froze on her mid-laugh, head thrown back, drink in hand. He turned to face her. "No," he said, voice even. "He didn't ruin your life, you did." She blinked, swallowed hard, looked to Elaine for backup. Elaine wouldn't meet her eyes. Silence. It was the kind of silence that makes you realize how far you've fallen, not because someone pushed you, but because they finally let you. "Dad, please, I didn't think—" He shook his head, cutting her off. "You didn't think anyone would see. And now, we all have." The air turned heavy. She wasn't arguing anymore. Just standing there. No plan, no leverage, no defenders. For years, she thought her last name was Armor. Thought I was just the accessory. The guy who folded laundry and cooked eggs while she climbed. Now she was learning something else. When the people you think owe you start watching receipts roll in, they don't owe you silence. She came looking for confrontation, a fight, an out. What she got instead was her own image, paused mid-betrayal, staring back at her, and a father who stopped choosing delusion over proof. Monday, 9:06 a.m. I walked into the county clerk's office with a folder in hand and a cup of black coffee. No lawyer, no drama, just paperwork and timing. Notice of occupancy change. Property ID, 104B owner, Dennis M. Harlow, filed under single-party residence reclassification. The house had been mine before the wedding, my name on the deed, my credit that built it. She never asked to be added, not when things were good, and certainly not when they turned. Maybe she thought it made her safer. It didn't. The mortgage paid off last month. Quietly. She didn't even know. I'd rerouted income from a freelance consulting gig straight into the balance. Took 13 months. No celebration, no ribbon, just math. Filing the notice took 20 minutes. Clerk didn't even look up when she stamped it. Effective immediately, 14-day notice goes in the mail today. Back home, I opened the smart home dashboard, removed her profile from the resident list, garage code deactivated, facial recognition tags deleted. Access history erased. Then I created a new resident profile. Name, Dennis Harlow. Status, sole occupant. Note, owner confirmed. That same evening, her first text hit, "Monica, can we talk?" Then another. "Please just let me in. I need some of my things." And finally, "You can't just erase me. I lived there too." I didn't reply. She left 6 voicemails. Voice cracking by the 5th. No apologies. Just frustration, disbelief, like I'd pulled a magic trick and turned our house into something it wasn't. But here's the thing. She was never listed. Not on paper, not on title, not on the walls either. Every framed photo was gone now. Every drawer emptied, cleaned, repurposed. It wasn't her home. It was her backdrop. A set she thought would always be there when the credits rolled. I went to bed that night and didn't look at my phone once, didn't scroll, didn't check the cameras. I slept 7 full hours. No interruptions. First time in 4 years. No wondering where she was. No calculations. No gut tugs. She'd always treated the house like a stage she occasionally visited. But now the lights were off. The locks changed, and the star of her show, written out. Thursday, 2:17 p.m. Monica sat in a borrowed office at her friend's marketing agency, pretending to check emails like her life hadn't just imploded across 3 time zones. Her phone was dead, her bank account still frozen. She hadn't been home in nearly a week, and now she wasn't sure she had one. A single new message appeared on her borrowed laptop. No sender, just a subject line, transparency. She hesitated, then opened it. One video file attached, no text. The preview thumbnail was her, in the hotel mirror, smiling. She clicked play. The footage was precise. Timestamps cleanly stamped at the bottom. Clip by clip, it rolled out. Her arriving at the hotel in that black dress, 5 men entering one by one, her laugh on the balcony. He's probably still folding laundry. The group toasting. To freedom. Her text. Can you feed the cat? Then came the final screen, white text on black. This is what 6 days cost. As soon as the video ended, the file disappeared. Email deleted, message wiped, auto-executed script, nothing left but memory. 3 minutes later, her phone buzzed. It had finally charged just enough to reboot. One missed call, then a voicemail. Her lawyer. Panicked. Monica, call me back immediately. He filed under Clause 9D, the infidelity clause, and he used Section 11A to transfer assets. You've waived any claim to joint property by violating conduct terms in the prenup. Silence. Then, Monica, you knew about this clause. You signed it. She pressed redial. The lawyer picked up, mid-sentence. Can't believe you didn't see this coming. He's played this perfectly. You waived your share. The trust is legally untouchable. I didn't know he could do that, she said, voice hollow. The lawyer sighed, not unkind, just exhausted. You did, he replied, when you smirked at the door. And just like that, it hit her. Every dismissive glance, every time she assumed he was harmless, every moment she thought she was slipping away, unnoticed. She hadn't just underestimated him. She documented her own downfall, smiling the whole way down. 2 weeks later, the house was different now. Fresh coat of paint in the hallway, lighter, cleaner, no more fingerprints on the door frames, new sofa, new rug. I even swapped out the mugs, just small things that no longer reminded me of her. Miles Davis' record played quietly in the background, soft trumpet notes echoing through a space that finally felt like mine. I walked from room to room with no particular purpose, just existing, breathing. Let's confirm. Nothing was missing. Then the phone rang, unknown number. I didn't answer. The voicemail came through 30 seconds later. I listened with one AirPod in while organizing the bookshelf. Monica's voice. Small, fragile, not broken, but scared of being ignored. I made a mistake. Please call me. I don't care about the house or the money. Just call me, please. I swiped left, deleted. No reply, no hesitation. She thought I'd be waiting, that I'd stay emotionally parked where she left me. What she never realized is that men like me don't explode. We offload, quietly, permanently. That afternoon, I packed a duffel, drove 3 hours to the coast, booked a small room at a tucked-away inn I'd passed a dozen times but never entered. Wood beams, no digital keys, fresh air. At the front desk, the receptionist smiled as she handed me the key. First time visiting? I looked out past the dunes, the ocean barely visible but deeply present. I smiled back. No, just the first time free. Then I walked toward a weekend that didn't belong to anyone else. No streams, no tracking, no secondhand roll, just silence. And peace that wasn't borrowed.